some more.
Do you struggle with overeating? Are you tempted to keep eating even when you're full? Hi, I'm Danny Y, God's weight loss guy. I'm God's weight loss guy because, like every other Christian, I am not my own. I belong to God. In a couple minutes, I'm going to give you the 6 words that God has inspired me with that help me stop overeating. It's one of the many things He's given me that has helped myself and others to lose weight. Now let me ask you a couple questions first. When you sit down to eat a meal, what's the first thing you do? If you're like most Christians, you say grace. And then when you move on to eating, are you still thinking about God? Do you think about God at snack time? I believe if we're not thinking about God while we're eating, we are opening ourselves to the devil's temptations. Now I, like most Christians, say grace before I eat. I would then go on to eating, and all thoughts of God were gone. At snack time, I never thought about God. After the upteenth time of overeating and realizing I was out of control, I prayed to God to please help me. And this is what He did. He gave me what I call a God thought. Now I know it didn't come from me, because one of the 6 words He gave me is not a word I use in my everyday vocabulary. This is what He did. I was to imagine I was sitting down right across from Jesus. Jesus was looking at me with this big smile and these loving eyes. I was to pick up a bite of food, look at the food, and then look into His loving eyes and say, "Thank you, Lord, for this nourishment." I was to eat the food, enjoy the food, and continue to look into His loving eyes. After the bite was done, I was to pick up another bite and do the same thing. Look at the food, look into His eyes, and say, "Thank you, Lord, for this nourishment." I was to do this before every bite. Now my next thought was, you have got to be kidding me. But I realized this didn't come from me. This came from somewhere else, and I was going to go with it. And I'm glad I did. So try this exercise. Get some healthy food and put it in front of you. Imagine Jesus is sitting right across from you. Pick up a bite of that food. Look at the food, then look into His loving eyes and say, "Thank you, Lord, for this nourishment." Eat that food, enjoy eating that food, and continue to imagine you're looking into His eyes. Take another bite, do the same thing, look at it, look into His loving eyes and say, "Thank you, Lord, for this nourishment." Now I also want you to try it with some junk food. Now when I tried this with some junk food, at first I couldn't do it. I was ashamed to even think about calling it nourishment and to look into His eyes. When I finally forced myself to eat it, it didn't even taste as good as it usually did, and actually I felt kind of dirty. Now I found when I committed myself to doing this, I ate better and I lost weight. When I stopped doing it,
Come on, eat some more. Have a bite.
I opened myself up to the devil's temptations, and I went right back to my old bad eating habits. Now you can do this in a few times out loud, and you don't have to do it out loud after that if you don't want to. I do it every once in a while to reinforce myself. But the important thing is if you stay focused on God while you take each bite and think in your mind before each bite, "Thank you, Lord, for this nourishment," it will be helpful. So give it a try.
Daddy.
Along with starting to eliminate the devil's temptations, you're probably going to start to eat better, lose some weight, but best of all, you just got yourself a new eating buddy. I'm Danny Y, God's weight loss guy. God bless.